Bernie Sanders is adamant that the reconciliation package is going to be no less than $3.5 trillion. He came out this week. He made it clear that as Budget Committee chairman, this reconciliation package is going to be $3.5 trillion because let's not forget, $3.5 trillion is already the compromise, right? It was supposed to be $6 trillion. We were supposed to get $6 trillion to rebuild essentially the United States. $6 trillion, by the way, over 10 years. This isn't, we got to pay all the money up front. You got 10 years over which period this money would be spent. And based on the spending mechanisms and fundraising mechanisms in this piece of legislation, Bernie Sanders also said, we're looking at a price tag right now of about 100 to 150 billion a year that is not yet accounted for in the money-raising fund. So yes, we would have to come up with that money somewhere else, but the rest of it, the funding mechanisms we have in place in the legislation would cover the rest of it. So we're only short 100 to 150 billion per year. That's not that bad, especially considering that's actually less than we pay 3 different defense contractors in any given year. So if we just shaved a little bit off that defense contractor budget, we could fully fund this thing and nobody would notice anything different, except, of course, the wealthy elite who would watch their taxes go up just a hair, not even to the point where they were under the Obama administration. Everybody wins at that point, right? Rich people still paying less in taxes than they were 5 years ago. America gets infrastructure. We get a Green New Deal. We get all of these wonderful pieces of infrastructure rebuilt here in the United States, not just roads and bridges, schools and fire departments. We get modernization. We get broadband, high-speed internet in rural parts of the United States. We improve water delivery systems. Maybe finally get some of these lead pipes out of the ground that are still poisoning people across the country. We could do all these things with this legislation as long as we don't cut it down too much. Or, as Bernie says, at all. Bernie may be on the losing side here, unfortunately. President Biden had a meeting with Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema this week, and according to reports out just this morning, Manchin isn't going to budge. Manchin refuses to budge. And of course, over in the House, we have already had 3 big pharma-funded Democrats kill drug price negotiation, which also was a piece of this Build Back Better Act. So with these corporatist Democrats, because it's not fair to call them moderates or centrists, that's not what these people are. They're corporatists. They're putting up their obstruction to a bill that is supported by a majority of Republicans, Independents, and Democrats. They're putting up this obstruction just to please their corporate donors. It has nothing to do with actually being concerned about the big price tag or leaving debt for generations of Americans. They don't give a damn about that. What they care about is jumping through the right hoops that their corporate donors have told them to jump through. And unfortunately, in order to get anything at all, Bernie Sanders is going to have to bend. And he knows that. And he's not happy about it. And we're not happy about it. We don't want him to have to bend. But we know it's coming because Manchin refuses. And without Manchin's vote, this thing can't become a reality at all. That's the worst part. We are 100% dependent on each individual Democrat doing their part. And if one part fails, the entire piece of legislation fails too. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe to our channel for fresh content 7 days a week.